K-pop is no longer just about music. There are idols whose appearance can shake the world, make brands popular, change lifestyles, and even make people feel like they have a place in the world through their fandom. I often wonder what their influence is. They unknowingly help boost a country's economy. So, to stop arguing, let's get into the list now. Number 5. G-Dragon. If most idols feel like they're riding a wave, G-Dragon has always looked like the guy quietly building the wave machine in the back. And I'm not saying that to be dramatic. Look at the timeline. He came up in an era when K-pop was still proving itself outside Asia, and he treated style, stage presence, and music like one complete identity, not separate departments. The real influence isn't just that he wore something first, it's that people started copying the mindset. The idea that an idol can be a creative director of their own image, not just a performer executing someone else's plan. That's a big deal, because it changed what fans expect and what companies try to manufacture now. The part people don't talk about enough is the behind-the-scenes risk. When you step out with a look or a sound that doesn't match the safe template, you're basically volunteering to get mocked first. And G-Dragon has taken that hit plenty of times only for the same ideas to become normal later. That pattern is what separates a trend followers from a trendsetter. You can also see his reach in how fashion houses and global magazines have treated him for years. Not like a random celebrity endorsement, but like someone whose taste and image actually matter to the culture. And here's where I get a little conflicted, personally. Because when one person has that much influence, it's inspiring, but it's also a little unsettling. You realize how easily aesthetics can shape identity, especially for younger fans who are still figuring themselves out. People don't just copy the clothes, they copy the attitude, the posture, the "I don't need your approval" energy. If you think about it, that's not a small thing. It can boost confidence, but it can also pressure people to perform a version of themselves that feels cool enough. At this point, I start asking myself, is the industry celebrating individuality or just selling the look of individuality? Either way, G-Dragon is one of the clearest examples of an idol whose impact isn't limited to songs or charts. He helped set the rules for how modern K-pop presents itself to the world, and the newer generation is still living inside the blueprint he helped draw. Number 4. Taehyung. V is one of those idols who doesn't need to shout to be felt, and that's exactly why his influence is so interesting to watch. With BTS, the spotlight is already massive, but V has this separate gravitational pull that doesn't always come from loud promotions or flashy mood. It comes from presence. People call it aura because they don't know what else to call it. But if we're being honest, it's a combination of choices. How he carries himself, how he frames his visuals, and how he leans into a specific artistic identity that feels curated but still personal. You can see it in fashion and lifestyle conversations where his name pops up even when the topic isn't BTS at all. There's a reason brands and fashion circles pay attention. He makes certain looks feel wearable and aspirational at the same time. And he doesn't chase trends in an obvious way, he lets trends chase him. One concrete sign of his reach is social engagement. His Instagram activity has repeatedly drawn unusually high attention. And that matters because engagement is basically the modern form of public gravity. It's not just follower count, it's how intensely people react when he moves. And I'll be upfront. That kind of reaction fascinates me, but it also makes me slightly uneasy. Because when an idol becomes a visual reference point, the industry starts copying the formula. Suddenly, you see newer idols leaning into the same soft intensity, the same muted luxury vibe, the same artsy distance, almost like they're trying to borrow his atmosphere. And here's what people rarely say out loud. Copying someone's style is easy. Copying someone's inner calm is not. V's influence works because it feels lived in. Like he genuinely enjoys the art, the aesthetics, the mood. When others imitate it without that foundation, it can look hollow. Psychologically, he also represents something fans crave. A quieter kind of charisma, in a world that's constantly screaming for attention. For some people, watching him is almost soothing, like proof that you don't have to be the loudest person in the room to be unforgettable. But then I start asking a tougher question. Does that quiet mystique free people to be themselves? Or does it create a new pressure to look effortlessly interesting all the time? Because if you think about it, that's a heavy expectation, especially online, where everyone's performing 24/7. Still, I can't deny what's happening in real time. V has become a global style and visual icon, not just a member of a famous group. His influence shows up in how people dress, how they pose, how they curate their feeds, and even how they define cool now. And whether you love it or you resist it, his presence keeps shaping the mood of modern K-pop in a way that's hard to fake. Number 3. Jungkook. This is the name people wait for, and I get why. Because Jungkook doesn't feel like just a popular idol anymore. He moves like a full-scale global pop star who can stand in the center of the world's attention without needing a safety net. And I'm saying that with my chest, because the results are not vague. Guinness World Records recognized him as the fastest male K-pop solo artist to reach 1 billion streams on Spotify. And that kind of milestone is not something you stumble into by accident. It's consistency, reach, and repeat listening on a massive level. Then there's 7, which didn't just trend for a week and vanish. It landed at the top of major global charts, and it hit no. 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, which is the kind of mainstream validation that forces even non-K-pop listeners to pay attention. The part that fascinates me, and honestly makes me a little uneasy, is how effortless it can look on the surface. People see the smile, the performance, the clean visuals, and they think it's just talent doing its thing. But what rarely gets discussed is the pressure behind that shine. Being expected to represent not only your own name, but an entire global fandom's hopes, moods, and daily routines. That's a psychological weight most people never have to carry. And you can feel it in the way the public watches his every move, like the smallest detail is a headline waiting to happen. Here's my personal take. Jungkook's influence isn't just musical, it's behavioral. He can shift listening habits overnight. He can change what brands think youth appeal looks like. And he can make fans across different countries feel like they're part of one shared moment at the same time. And if we're being honest, that's power. But it also raises a question I keep coming back to. Are we celebrating an artist, or are we feeding a machine that never lets him breathe? Because when someone's impact becomes this huge, the world doesn't just love you, it expects you. Still, I can't deny what's in front of us. Jungkook has crossed the line into global pop territory, and his presence is now one of those forces that can push culture, charts, and conversation all at once. Number 2. Jennie. Jennie is one of those rare idols where you can almost watch the cause and effect happen in real time. She posts a look, wears a piece, steps out with a certain vibe, and suddenly people are hunting down the exact item like it's a limited treasure. That's not just popularity, that's consumer behavior getting redirected by one person's image. And yes, she's tied to major luxury fashion in a serious way. Think long-term relationships with top houses, front row visibility, global campaigns, constant Fashion Week attention. But what makes her influence feel different is how cleanly she blends high fashion with everyday pop culture without looking like she's trying too hard. The industry has plenty of ambassadors. Not all of them move people. Jennie moves people. The part that's rarely discussed is the psychological pull. Her style reads as confident but not unreachable, glamorous but still, I could maybe do this. That illusion, half aspiration, half familiarity is powerful, and brands know it. And honestly, it makes me a bit uneasy sometimes, because it proves how fast identity can get tied to shopping. At this point, I start asking myself, are we celebrating her taste? Or are we being trained to buy confidence in the shape of a jacket, a bag, a pair of sunglasses? Still, I can't deny what I'm seeing. Jennie has become a symbol where luxury doesn't feel like a separate universe anymore. It's been pulled into mainstream fandom culture, and she's one of the biggest reasons that K-pop idol and global fashion tastemaker now feel like the same job. Number 1. Lisa. I call Lisa a global magnet because she does something that's honestly hard to fake. She pulls attention across different worlds at once. Music, dance, fashion, and social media without looking like she's trying too hard. The proof isn't just people talk about her, it's measurable. Guinness World Records listed her as the K-pop artist with the most Instagram followers, noting the count at over 90 million as of March 24, 2023. And when someone holds a record like that, it's not just a vanity number brands watch it. Media watches it, and fans feel it like a scoreboard. What rarely gets discussed is the psychological side. She became a kind of shortcut for many people to understand K-pop, not the group, not the genre, but one person whose clips, outfits, and dance moments travel faster than context. You see it in how choreography trends spread. Sometimes people don't even know the song title, but they know that Lisa move. And that's influence that lives outside the fandom bubble. Personally, I have mixed feelings watching it. On one hand, it's impressive she's proof that an idol can be globally relevant without constantly explaining themselves. On the other hand, it makes me wonder, when attention gets that massive, does the world still see the human, or only the highlight reel? Because at this scale, one post can shift trends, one appearance can steer demand, and that kind of power is exciting, but it's also heavy.